Well, I'm joined right now by Stixxay from CLG after going 1-1 today, but also looking really good as an AD carry, I think. Stixxay, I will say those games, they all seem to be a little weird. There were some steals, there were some weird
Yeah.
moments. I felt like there was just a lot of misplays in both those games. Uh, Being inside the game, what was that like for you, and did you identify those moments?
Uh, yeah. Well, for me personally, it was pretty stressful because I felt like I was put in a position where I was forced to essentially like play fights perfectly or like play skirmishes literally perfectly and like kind of clutch the team or the team fight for us to win. So yeah, we didn't really play too well as a team today. We a lot of our games are really long because we just did nothing to like be frank for a lot of the games. So, but yeah, when you're on stage and like stuff like that happens, you're like, oh god,
Yeah.
Final Fiesta.
Why is it that this is happening? I was just interviewed Steak, who was saying it's just really hard to get scrims here. Is that a factor, or what's preventing you guys from really playing to seemingly your peak performance?
Well, for us, it's not hard to get streams at all. I would say we're at like a bit of a lack of practice because in North America, we're only able to scrim challenger teams since none of the LCS teams are playing or they're in Korea or whatever.
Right.
So when we came here, we started practicing like a lot compared to what we were doing in North America. So had like a couple days of like full practice. So, but I think it's just the day one jitters. People are getting used to the venue and stuff. For us, it's like really similar to Mandalay Bay. So the setup looks almost identical to it. So it's kind of comforting for us.
Yeah.
So.
We were talking a little bit before this at Mandalay. I think you guys were talking about how there's issues hearing with this kind of in the round setup. What was it like here?
Yeah, in Mandalay, so it was really like anytime a level one thing would happen or a team fight would happen, you couldn't hear anything. You couldn't hear your teammates. But here, the audio is like completely blocked out, and they did. I think Riot did like a really good job of a much better improvement compared to what it was in Vegas. So
Right.
it's pretty nice. Yeah.
So as you guys sort of did the opening ceremony, and then you guys played first, you sit down, and then TSM chants start. I don't know if you heard those.
Yeah.
What is that kind of feeling where that happens, and then they start rooting for the team that you beat in the finals?
Well, yeah, that's just. Apparently now I know it's like a universal meme
Yes.
just to chant TSM. So yeah, we kind of all the CLG players kind of looked at each other and just started laughing. It was pretty
Okay.
funny. So.
Okay. So does it tilt you at all?
Oh no, we thought it was just really funny.
Okay, that's funny. You guys need to start chanting TSM as well. Just join in on it, right?
Yeah, might as well.
All right. Now, in those games in particular, it seemed like you really stood out. I don't know if that's because, sometimes it's a situation where like a mid laner or AD carry just gets all these kills and gets like quadras and all this stuff. And it's actually just because their team is doing really well, but you're just getting the last hits. I also sometimes it's obviously you carrying the team. From your perspective, what was that like today?
Well, I think my team would gift me an advantage, and most of the time I would propel it forward pretty well up until a point where both games there was a point where I messed up, and then the game was prolonged very far, even though I was super ahead before it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's just like a lack of focus, not doing what I should be doing. So, but it's partly because like my team is giving me a lot, and also I think I'm playing individually quite well. So
Okay.
besides those small mishaps.
Yeah. So small mishaps, sometimes you get caught out. Looks bad. But the big moments, that's pretty cool. Do you feel like you're playing better than you did at Mandalay? Or like, what is this the peak of your so far career?
I don't know like what my true peak is yet. So
Right.
I feel like every game there's like a chance to do something new to show that I'm better than I was previous or whatever previous tournament I was at.
Right.
I mean, at Mandalay Bay, I was like eating backwards on Kate and shit, and, like random things. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was just due to a lot of nerves, but I think I'm playing better and better typically every game.
You're still a newbie, kind of rookie guy. And you at this event will be going up against like SKT. These big names. RNG obviously has some pretty big players on them as well. What is that experience like for you coming in and playing against all these people that in a lot of situations have like won the world championships and that kind of thing?
Well, to be honest, I think that the level of skill between all the teams is actually not too far. So it comes down to honestly just like a ton of team fighting. So like it's only day one, but you saw there's just like literally just games, just team fighting over and over. There's a ton of kills. So I think the teams are pretty similar in skill. So it just comes down to who team fights better.
Yeah.
And this is where like the individual skill does matter. But I think we'll do fine versus all the regions. We've played most of them and done fine, so not worried at all.
Now, you know that if I give that the headline of this interview, that
Oh,
headline,
God.
which is probably going to be the case,
Yeah.
because it is probably the most interesting part of this interview, people are going to freak out and be like, yeah, CLG, they think that they're as good as like the other regions. And to that point, a lot of people have been ranking you pretty low when it comes to these sort of power tiers, rankings, whatever you want to call them. What do you think of that sort of industry and community perception that CLG is not going to perform very well here?
Some reason people have that perception, mainly because me and Huhi are rookies, so we're like more inexperienced. But if you look at it, like all of our games versus Liquid, all of our games versus TSM, we actually won just because we out-team fighted them and played better than them as individuals. So people like to say like, oh yeah, we're so bad individually, but we're just really good as a team. But that's not really, in my opinion, what makes us win these games. I think we're just like outplaying them in skirmishes, team fights, and stuff like that. So
everyone I've talked to so far has said, first off, not only that CLG is not possibly going to make it out of groups, but also that SKT just hands down is going to win this whole thing. You probably have been scrimming some of the teams here, and you have more insight than a lot of these guys. Do you think that's true? Is SKT just sort of the hands down winner?
No, I don't think SKT is a hands down winner. I think CLG would definitely make it out of groups. I think we'll probably get top 2. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, boom, there we go. You were about to say it, I think we can win, but that's too bold, right?
I'm no Darshan.
Okay, there we go. Is there anything you want to say to any of the CLG fans out there after day 1?
Thanks to all our fans for the support, and we really appreciate it all. We read all the positive criticism, stuff like that, so thank you guys a lot for that.
Okay. Thank you, Stixxay, for the interview, and congratulations again on the win. Sorry for the loss. It goes 1-1. That's how it goes. Thanks again, and looking forward to watching the rest of your games. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things MSI at Yahoo Esports.